Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Morning Meta. I am yours truly, Travis Spencer.
I'm Camilla Crawley.
All right, Camilla, we're at Thursday already.
Yes.
Yeah, the week is almost over.
hmm
So today we're going to be community. We're going. Well, got a little tact on there.
yeah.
So today we're going to be doing community conversations.
hmm
All right, let's get started.
All right. So I know that we've been talking about these themes for this season, the gratitude and also balance and duality. But I was thinking about kind of focusing on that theme around releasing and letting go. One of the things that came to me around that was, first of all, how do you even know that you need to release or let something go?
Mm,
Um, like, if you could give an example for yourself of maybe one or a couple of things that have been like signals for you in different times where like, okay, it's time for me to release this or let this go.
mhm. Yeah, and we're going to invite you all to contemplate that as we do a grounding practice and things
hmm
like that. And then we're going to get into this conversation. That
Yeah,
is a great entryway into this conversation.
yeah,
I can't
definitely.
wait. Yeah.
But first, we're going to start with
Mhm.
our grounding.
Okay.
So, everyone, as usual, get your comfortable position, and we're going to ground through the body. So, the feet, and then we'll work our way up to two other places in the body just to become as present as we can. So, bring your attention gently
Mhm.
to your feet, and then you're going to just feel your feet. So, if that means wiggling your toes or turning your ankles, bring your attention to the feet now and just notice the feet. Gently shift from the feet to the seat or your bottom. Notice how your body is connected to the chair, whatever position you might be in. Just notice the connection with your body and the earth. If you want to just gently move to bring your attention there, you can kind of move around. That way, your attention becomes more fully to this part of the body. And then finally, we're going to bring our attention to our hands. Gently rubbing the hands, noticing the hands, being present with how they feel in this moment. All right, everyone. So that was our grounding practice. And now we're going to really get into how we're going to approach our day with the intentions.
Okay. So for your intention today, we want to invite you. The topic that we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes is going to be about releasing. So if it feels comfortable for you and if it's something that you resonate with, the invitation is as you set your intention is to think about that. So give you about 5 or 10 seconds just to think about your intention for the day. Mhm. So Camilla, what
Mhm.
about you? What intention did you set for today?
Hmm. For today, I've been thinking a lot about movement.
Hmm.
So maybe somehow walking, even if it doesn't mean that I'm not, even if it means that I'm not able to actually go out and take like a long walk for, 5 or 10 minutes, but still taking pauses and getting up and maybe walking from the computer to another area, coming back. But yes, moving the body in that way.
I like that as well.
hmm
Yeah, because I have a tendency once I get into the zone, I'm sitting at the computer for hours and
Yeah.
don't even realize that's where I'm at. Not present. I'm just in the zone.
hmm
Yes, yes. Okay, so I'm going to take on that intention as well.
All right. Our centering thought for today. Let's see. We have a lovely quote for you here. Our centering thought says, when life forces you to face yourself, what awaits in the mirror is a gift, vulnerability.
Mm.
Right? You want to hear that one again? I know.
Yep. If it's nice, you got to read it
hmm
twice.
Our centering thought, when life forces us
Hmm.
or forces you to face yourself, what awaits in the mirror is a gift, vulnerability. And that quote is by Alicia Keys from her book, More Myself. Hmm.
Mm.
I really like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Because in this season, talking about releasing, I think that Alicia Keys' quote really speaks to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there's a level of vulnerability to releasing things that no longer serve you.
I agree 100%. Definitely. And that can be challenging at times. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think for me, when I begin thinking about vulnerability, especially coming from a place of being a man, and being a black man in America, vulnerability looks very different. We are taught to, not show that vulnerable side of us,
Hmm.
to show up in a certain way, and not let people get beyond a certain point, you know.
Hmm.
So, invulnerability allows you to be, if I dare say it, naked in front of someone, and when you're in a loving community where you should be, you can be vulnerable. You can be, as I said, naked
Hmm.
in front of those people that love you and that you love,
Hmm.
you know, and then releasing the notion that you have to show up a certain way that you may not, that may not even resonate with you, you know.
Mhm. That's a very, very good to know, especially as you said, coming from a man. And I think sometimes we don't really talk about that there
Mhm,
are some slight differences when it comes to how men women handle emotions
mhm,
and things like vulnerability, and then there's that extra layer also if you are someone that identifies as black, African American, Caribbean, and a melanated person, then there's extra things that may be on top of that culturally as well,
mhm,
because hearing you talk about as a man and as a black man, the things that often are conditioned in you around vulnerability. I think about the same for African American women or
mhm,
women who are of African heritage, in the sense of vulnerability being something that is not even on the radar, because the
mhm,
conditioning is no matter what, you need to be strong and strong for everyone else. And even when you may be hurting or not feeling well, because so much has been said about being strong, you're not even showing that. Like,
mhm,
when you don't feel well, when you don't feel strong, it feels like, okay, well, I can't show this because I have to be the strong one for everyone.
mhm,
So yeah, this is a really good conversation, kind of
mhm.
peeling back some of those layers.
Yeah, absolutely. You just made me think about, because we also talking about in the midst of this is, the releasing.
Mm-hmm.
you know so the invitation is to begin releasing this need to always be,
Mm-hmm.
the strongest person in the
Yeah.
room, and I say that to all of us, so it's not just men,
Mm-hmm.
um, but women as well. You don't have to be the strongest person in one room. There's something, I want to invite you to share with the audience, if you feel okay with it, a little bit about, your program that you did for, was it Superwoman Schema,
Oh,
around
oh,
that,
okay.
the program that you created around that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So years ago, doing a like a full day retreat for women, I was trying to figure out what the topic will be, and what came to me was like, well, what can everyone relate to? And stress was one of the things. So, in a lot of the things that I was reading, a lot of the research, which was done by women who are of African heritage, Black women, it pretty much was talking about how stress contributes to poor health
Mhm,
in many of us. And they broke it down into what they were calling like the strong, one of them was the strong Black woman syndrome, and then the other one was the superwoman schema. But both of them related, because what it spoke about is how we don't even realize that we've been conditioned to suppress emotions, to
mhm,
put ourselves last, to feel guilty if we do anything around those things. And so this retreat really was about bringing awareness
mhm,
to this, the fact that you may be functioning and going through life this way and not even realize that this is coming from a lot of programming and things like that. And then the other part of the retreat was about, here's ways where we can let this go. So it
mhm,
was a full day of mindfulness and meditation, also learning about food, and being
mhm,
mindful with that. And that's another conversation we may do at another
Hmm.
time
Absolutely,
about
absolutely.
how food also is a part of that conditioning and how we use it
Hmm.
when we are feeling things and we're not expressing it.
Hmm.
And then I mean, it was just a beautiful day. We had spoken word, we had yoga. All of these was just very like sort of first steps for people
Hmm.
to think about in ways to releasing all of those things around being a superwoman and this strong black woman syndrome that again none of us chose but has been put upon us.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think what comes to me is that imagining whenever our ancestors were kidnapped and brought here um, to the Western Hemisphere, um, or to the West, to the United States, Caribbean,
Hmm.
and so forth, um, we went into survival mode.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and all of that, what we're doing with Morning Meta and with the Institute of African American Mindfulness is to support slowing that down,
Hmm.
because it's a process to slow down
Yeah.
out of survival mode. It's not something that just immediately now you're not
Hmm.
surviving anymore. It's not that. We are slowing down, we're building, and then we're beginning to move forward, striving,
Hmm.
so slowing down. And back to what we were talking about today, the releasing, slowing down, releasing this belief that that's all we can do is
Yeah.
survive, and then we begin to move forward, thriving as a community, you know, and again, loving what our indigenous brothers and sisters have shared, the Native Americans, about the 7 generations. So when we think about striving, after we've released these things that no longer serve us,
Hmm.
now we're thinking also 7 generations. How do we create a world that 7 generations from now, our children's children's children's,
Hmm.
continue on, are benefiting from?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we are doing here.
Yeah, and that's why it's really important to start at that first step, which I believe is awareness. Because
Hmm.
again, a lot of this has just been habit, and we may not realize that there's another choice. So, going back to the beginning, just kind of asking what's one sort of signal that, oh, I need to release something. And sometimes it's a physical thing that
Hmm.
happens with people. Um, and I'll put it out there that one signal, physical signal could be someone who is always having headaches,
Mm.
and if you start to slow down and notice when the headaches are always coming, then you might be able to connect it with like, okay, every time there's a meeting at work, oh wait, every time I have a conversation with this person, and then you start to slowly connect, and then that awareness, you realize, oh, that's what's contributing to it, and then you have a choice to
Hmm.
release, right? But the
Yes.
thing is that first, being able to, as you said, slow down long enough to even be aware that, hey, we do need to release something. So what's the signal that you can share?
For me, I'm about to do a blanket um, signal, if you will. I'm just going to say suffering.
Yeah.
I think that, and I want to be clear about suffering. I believe that suffering is resistance to what is.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's painful, as you were speaking about with a headache, or it could be just emotional suffering
Hmm.
where you just you don't want to let go.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
when you can't release something, you're going to suffer
Yeah.
because yeah.
And again, just really looking out for, like you said, it's the emotional side. So
Hmm.
always feeling, certain things. But the other one that I think about, and this is the last one I'll say, is exhaustion.
Hmm.
When you just
Yes.
feel like you're just tired,
Hmm.
again, start to get curious and pay attention, I would say, to people. And then the releasing can begin. So we kind of talked about that first step of being
Hmm.
aware. But then if somebody is at that awareness point and it's like, okay, but how do I release this? I'm just going to put out there one tangible sort of example. Releasing could be something like just saying to yourself, I'm going to get out a journal
Hmm.
And I am going to write down what it is that I would like to release. It could take the form of an affirmation, it could be a statement, but you just keep doing that. It could be day after day after day. That's one way of getting it out of like here, out of your head, and then out of your system and onto the paper.
Yes,
That's
yes.
one release. But you have
Hmm.
anything you would like to share?
I think that oftentimes for those who have a mindfulness practice or a meditation practice, and I'm gonna call it novice, a
Mm-hmm.
novice practice. We may be able to name thoughts as they are rising, the emotions as they're rising, um, and we have ways to show ourselves compassion.
Mm-hmm.
For example, just noticing the breath and relaxing the body is an act of compassion.
Oh,
So, for those who are brand new to this healing journey, or they're on their healing journey and they're just beginning to discover that awareness that you just referred to, the invitation is find the body first.
mm-hmm.
The body is always in the present moment. The
Yeah,
breath is always in the present
yeah.
moment. In the present moment is where you find the relief. Compassion, I believe, lives in the present moment. So the idea is to be with what is, to name it, find some sensation in the body or find the breath itself. And when you inhale, notice, exhale, relax, you know. So,
Yeah, I love all
mhm,
of that. All of that I think can be helpful. So everyone, you have options here,
mhm,
to just take that first step if that's necessary, wherever you are with releasing and letting go.
yes, yes.
That was a nice conversation.
Hmm. Yeah. And one last thing I want to say, and this isn't about the conversation, we are on this journey with you all.
Yes.
So, everyone that's coming here daily and watching these practices and these conversations, enjoying them, we're with you. We're
Yeah,
on that same path, the path towards healing and well being.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we've talked about a lot, and now we can invite everyone to a call to action.
Mhm. All right. So, the call to action today is about releasing. Let's talk about a physical releasing.
Mhm.
So, I want to invite you to just ball your hands up as you inhale and as you exhale, physically release the hands. Inhale and then exhale, physically release. And to do that throughout the day today, when you're sitting at your desk, when you're working, whatever you're doing, give yourself some time. Just ball up the fist and release. A physical act of releasing,
Yes.
but you are also releasing the mental, the emotional things that no longer serve you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Please, please, please spread the word about Morning Meta.
Hmm.
Like and subscribe. Let everyone else know, whether it's family members, coworkers, people in your community, and share with them some of the benefits that you might be getting from Morning Meta, and invite them into our community here. So, thank you all for joining us today.
Hmm.
And I'll hand it over to you, Travis, just to wrap everything up. Something else you wanna share?
Well, I want to invite everyone to leave a comment and to remember that this practice is for us. It's not just for us in that's on the screen here today, but for you as well, us as a community.
Yes.
And we want to support each other and we want to support you in beginning each day grounded, intentional, and connected.